All right. So we talked about going over some of the staple movements and that there's numerous variations of all those movements. So this one is going to be the squat and a few of the most common variations. So your typical regular squat is, as we've done, your feet are about hip width apart, okay? And they're tracking forward, and you're gonna sit back like you're sitting in a chair. Another great cue is knees out. That'll get you lower. So knees go out, sit back, okay? Knees out, sit back. Knees, push those knees out and sit back, okay? Regular squat, which you're familiar with, okay? Now, if you want to take it up a notch and make that more cardio or HIIT, high intensity interval training, where you're burning more calories and your heart rate gets up, you can add a jump squat, okay? And I think we've done those before. So that's simply in a squat position, sit down, come up, land back in the squat softly, jump, land soft, jump, jump. All right, good. Another one is the pause squat. That's where you pause, preferably in the hardest part of the movement. So that would be in the hole, what they call the hole, which is at the bottom. So you go down, pause, lift back up, right? So the hardest part in them where your muscles are still contracted is down here, hold, come up. So that's pause squat. And you can pause for 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever. So down, 1, 2, down, 1, 2, right? Okay. You have what they call, you can play around with the tempo, which means how fast you go down, how long you're down, and how fast you come up, right? So the other day I did 1.5 squats. So that was 1.5 is all the way down, halfway up, back down, all the way up, okay? So I'm making it hard 2 times in 2 areas. So down, half, down, up, down, half, down, up, down, half, down, up, okay? And you can play with those tempos so many different ways. You'll see things like 1, 1, 1 for tempo. So it's a squat, 1 second down, 1 second in the hole, 1 second up. That's your typical squat. Down, up. Down, 1, up. Down, 1, up. Change it to 2, 2, 2. So 2 seconds down, 2 seconds in the hole, 2 seconds up, okay? So you go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So a slower movement. You go to 3, or you go 3, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So that's how the tempo is. It's really simple, sounds like a lot. It's just how long you're taking to get down, stay in, and get up. That's it. Those are just the seconds, all right? There's also the sumo squat, which sumos, think of a sumo wrestler or a sumo stance, is wider, okay? So your feet are going to be wider than hip width apart. Typically the toes are turned out some. You're in a sumo stance, okay? And that's a sumo squat. Same thing, come down, push those knees out, come back up, all right? So sumo squats are great. Those are gonna work more of the posterior chain, glutes, okay, some hammies, also some inner thighs too if you do different variations. So here we go, sumo, lift, sumo, lift, squat. Again, with that, you can change the tempo, do paused or jump. It's the same thing, okay? So sumos, regulars, you have your single leg squats. We've done those before. I have a bench here, and you know that's where you're sitting. Here's a bench squat, right? Where you have a chair or a bench under you, okay? So down, up. You typically do that with weights, a barbell. So bench squat, and then you add your single leg. So one leg, up, sit, up, sit, up, sit, okay? Those are great. So if you can do some of those, and you can definitely use something for balance, or putting your sitting and then pushing up, putting your foot down for balance, sit, up, sit, okay? So definitely do whatever is gonna help. So sticking with those few variations, because you don't want to get too overwhelmed. With those, you can add bands, weights, and anything else to make things harder, okay? So, you know, a barbell is the long bar that you put on your back. You'll see people use that. You have free weights, dumbbells. So if you grab your dumbbells, you know, you can add those into your squat, regular squat, and have your dumbbells in your hands. Sit, okay? That'll definitely add some resistance, adding the dumbbells, okay? And you can do sumo, okay? You can put them in the middle. Sumo, lift, sumo, lift, sumo, lift. Okay, so there's a few more ways to do it. And then you have your band, your loop, so you can do squats with that. Both regular squats. So regular squats, again, you can play with the tempo, down, hold it, come up. You can do some abductors where you sit down and push the legs out and then come up. And you can even go into more of a sumo, sit back, lift, sit back, lift, okay? So those are the ways, typical ways of squat and normal squat variations. Stick with those so you don't get too overwhelmed with a million more. And if you have questions, write them down and we'll talk.